Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Okay, where are my BMW people? Like, don't you just love when you have a BMW? I love my baby. It's time to take the cover off and, warm them up a bit. Let some of these fluids flow. Anyway, y'all ain't doing nothing, so come on, you can do this with me. So anyway, this week, y'all, oh my goodness, this week has been something. And I think one of the biggest things that I've learned this week is that, like, what are these crickets? They are. What in the world? And then they're like baby crickets. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Anyway, I don't do bugs that well, y'all, as you can tell. Oh wow, I didn't even know this door was open. Thank goodness the cover was on it. Wow. I don't even know how it locked. Wow, okay, that's on me. Anyway, that's not why y'all here. Um, one of the things that I've definitely learned this week is that you can have a lot of stuff on your plate. And, baby, just because you got a lot of stuff on your plate does not mean that you need to try to solve it all. You have to be mindful of where you put that energy. You got to be mindful of how much energy you give to that thing. Because over-promising, honey, that ain't cute. So this week, y'all know I still got my 9-to-5 job, and thank you. I really am very grateful for it. But I met some of my capacity levels this week. Had a strange conversation with my manager to kind of remind her of her role in the department. And I'm like, I had to remind her, like, you call me out to seek the team out, to remind them to have their cameras on, like something that simple. But then you yourself don't do that. You don't honor that. And so I was like, well, what's kind of frustrating to me about it is you use me in my voice, which is okay. That's what you pay me to do. But you use me in my voice to spread that message so that people would listen and actually do what you're expecting them to do. And I'm good with that. I want to be clear. I'm totally good with that. But girl, why you don't have your camera on? Like you gotta practice what you preach. And if you're expecting them to, then we have to be held accountable to that. And I'm like, I had to remind her of that, right? And I'm very grateful that she allows for real conversations because not all leaders do that. So I'm very grateful for that. And I even had to let her know, like, girl, I'm this week, last week, like, y'all got me. Like, I've been overwhelmed, like, overworked. Like, I don't think you understand, like, all the stuff that you're asking me to do. I don't think you understand how much time it takes to do what you're asking me to do. And I need you to be very, a little bit more conscious of that. And so she did receive it all well, and I'm very glad that she did. But that's how the week started. Like, that is how the week started. And it's crazy because I love leadership. Like, who I am naturally is just, like, my personality fits leadership because I care more so about the person. In fact, I had an employee that had gotten some complaints. And so I kind of was having a conversation with her to try to figure out, like, hey, why are you doing these things like this? And why are you doing these reports like this and so forth? And she was open and honest. And it's like, hey, the direction you're giving me and the direction our manager is giving me, plus the direction that the trainer is giving me, that's 3 different directions. Like, Jimmy, I'm confused. And so my leadership style is like, okay, pause, boo. Like, not in a rude way, but like more so of like, Jimmy, check your ego. And honey, we're going to put a meeting on the calendar because we're going to clear this up. We're going to all get on the same page really quickly. And so I hate that my employee had to be in the midst of that. But I'm like, I have to be there to kind of fix and correct these things. Like, that's what you're depending on me to do, to give you expectations and to be clear about them. And so, which is kind of crazy because I had another situation this week as well of an employee that made a mistake, a big mistake. And that was part of my frustration. Not her mistake, but more so I was given the task to go in to talk to the team member to correct this. My manager jumped the gun even after the instructions were given to me to correct this. My manager jumped the gun and put a meeting on the calendar. And I'm just like, it's not necessary. Like, let me do my job. But anyway, having the conversation with my employee about the mistake, and I'm just like, hey, this is what you did wrong. This is what you did right. Like, this is, da, 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 da. But one thing I had learned from Brene Brown over the weekend is to follow that up with, what did you hear? And so I'd given her all the instructions of kind of what happened. And then we ended it by saying what we wanted her to do in the future. But I then followed that up by saying, like, what did you hear us say? And so to hear her kind of go through all of the things that she had did wrong and what we were going to be doing in the future took me by surprise. Because I was like, I said in this conversation, you did a lot of things right. And so I had to bring that back to her mind to like, hey, wait a second. I'm glad you heard all of that. But I want to make sure you heard this piece as well. And as a leader, you don't always want to just lead with the negative. You don't always want to lead with the corrective action. Like, you have to lead with what they're doing right as well. And so it's about being fair. It's about being consistent. And so again, I'm glad that I learned that question from Brene Brown over the weekend, and I was able to kind of implement it this week. And it felt good. Right? And so it reminded me that I am very consistent with how I lead the team. I'm consistent in my day-to-day life as well, like with yoga and doing my inspirational videos and my book videos. And like, it's just, those things have been ingrained into my day-to-day life. But even with that being said, there was so much going on. Like, I was reaching like my capacity throughout this whole week. Like, so much so that my husband came in to hug me before going off to work, and I just almost cried, and he had no idea what the heck was going on. But I was like, I was trying to process in my mind, like, Jimmy, what is happening? And so I had to learn this week, like, Jimmy, you're at and almost exceeding your capacity with people. Like, you're almost there. Like, I'm sitting at home, and I was like, there was so many meetings on my calendar this week. And so I'm like, I mean, meeting after meeting after meeting, and I normally decompress in between my meetings. But I was kind of running already on low. Got a meeting ends. Got like 30 to 45 minutes before my next meeting. Power goes out. I was like, oh my God. So I was like, I don't want to go into the office because I'm working from home. I don't want to go into the office. So I was like, let me go to a local coffee shop. Go over to a coffee shop, their power is out. Like, the whole main intersection's power is out. So I was like, let me turn around. Let me go on the other side of the expressway. More than likely they have power, which they did. Could not find a coffee shop. Where does that happen? But then I got an alert that from my Ring camera that the power was back on. So I'm like, I'm turning back around. I'm trying to get back home to meet this one meeting. And I was like, okay, I got 15 minutes. Traffic hits. I was like, fuck it. I forget it. Like, I'm gonna miss that meeting because I got another meeting right after that. So that means now I have a 30-minute gap to regroup. And it was a painful day. And so, and I was, again, my husband hugged me, and I just, because he had hugged me again once he had gotten home. And so it was one of those moments where you're just like, everything else is going on around you, and you're just like, universe, what are you trying to tell me? What are you telling me? Like, make it clear. What are you trying to tell me? Because I can't take too much. And, you find yourself kind of pushing through. I don't advise that for anybody. I did eventually decompress. I did some yoga, drank my water, but I had to learn, like, very quickly, like, Jimmy, like, you're at your capacity. Like, this shit ain't working. Like, I even had a VP calling me to ask me about another VP. But it wasn't to fix anything. It was, well, what is he thinking? Why did he do this? And My initial thought was, girl, I don't know. Like, give me marching orders. Tell me what it is that you're asking me to do. I can't get into this person's mind. I have absolutely no clue why they make the decision that they made, but they made it, right? But as not a people pleaser, because it's not what it is, but as a good leader that you feel that you're great at your job, your first thought is typically, let me help this person, let me problem solve. But honey, when you coming to me about why somebody is thinking the way that they're thinking, honey, I can't help you. I can't help you. Like, what you want me to do with that information? I have nowhere to file it. I have no capacity to file that. I cannot be your sounding board today. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. So what I am going to say is nothing. What are they thinking? I have no clue, but I do suggest you set up a meeting. But why did he do that? You are absolutely right. Not sure why he did it, but you might want to set up a meeting. I was like, I know she felt my irritation. And I was like, I didn't even care. Because I was like, I'm at my capacity. And I don't have time for whatever political foolishness or game that you're playing. I don't have time for that. I don't have time. I don't have the capacity for that. And more importantly, I'm not going to lend my time to that. Not today. And so, which is interesting, talking about politics within the corporate world. You know how that goes. But what I found to be interesting because of Juneteenth this month. Okay, me and this storage thing, I got to get this figured out. Anyway, that just ended. Sorry about that. But talking about Juneteenth this month. And I'm very grateful that the organization that I work for, they even acknowledged Juneteenth. Like, I'm very grateful for that. But we had a meeting, of course, led by all Black people, which is great, awesome. So glad to see, Black people in power and Black people sitting at the table, quite literally. And so it was very, very, very good to see. But talking about the politics, it was so weird and uncomfortable kind of watching the white people interact. I even saw that a couple of people had their doors, like, well, one person in particular, I won't say a couple, one person in particular had their office door open, and I'm like, we can hear that you're on this call, like, we can see you. You don't have to have your office open to kind of let us know that you're on this call. Like, you don't have to do that. But anyway, aside from the politics and the foolishness and all that was going on, where people were interacting just to be seen, to say that they were a part of this. Okay, look, we're going to try this one more time. Because I promise you now, what we're not going to do is keep playing back and forth with these memories. Anyway, hell, what were we talking about? Oh, Juneteenth. Oh my gosh. But yeah, Juneteenth. Listening to the diverse group of people that were on the panel speaking, it really made me reflect deeply on who I am. Because one person, they'd spoken about picking cotton. One person was speaking about being an activist and what they've done in college, and even some of the things they did for the Katrina victims, or refugees, I think is what they were deemed. But I was like, I'm not either of those people. I was like, I'm not any of those people. But I don't feel bad about it. I've learned to accept that I don't feel bad about that, because there is space for the past and understanding and acknowledging where you came from. There is space for those that are activists, that wants to go out, protest, and stand up for people. And then there's space for people like me. Like, I'm the dream. I'm what you envisioned. To be able to sit at the table, to make decisions, to be able to lead with integrity, to be able to show up and put my best foot forward, to be able to be my authentic self in all spaces. I'm legitimately the vision. I'm what you have been fighting for. And so finding my own voice and being able to recognize that during this conversation while they were having it, it was remarkable, and it felt really, really good to be able to do. And it got me to thinking about my own journey. And I'm like, I'm an author. I've written 2 books. I've done my inspirational videos and reaching people across the country and the world. Like, it's been fun. But I only get a chance to do that because of the people that have paved the way, the people's shoulders that I stand on. And, and it makes some of those mundane things feel small. And so when we kind of reflected on that a bit, my mind was clear of the clutter. I ended up going in to kind of, to look at my book sales and to like, hey, let me play around with some of these ads. And so I kind of created some new ads, and so I'm testing some things out. Also, even thinking about my business partner and talking about the car rental business. Got an Impala that needed a motor and got a motor. Now it needs a transmission. And so we're trying to find that. Have a Yaris that is, lights are popping off and on, and so having to get those things fixed and trying to have a decision on whether to get rid of this car or to fix these things, like what's most beneficial economically. And so having to make those decisions, and more so of having these options, is remarkable, and I don't take them for granted. And so, yeah, that's been my week in a nutshell. And so I definitely damn sure did not have the capacity for a lot of foolishness this week. But do you ever? Anyways, I hope your week was much better than mine. And I hope the lessons that you learned this week were equally impressive. But needless to say, I'm sure you are just like me. And that is still becoming. Okay, that's it for me. I'm gonna see you guys on the next one. Bye.